Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Buckeye Weekly Podcast. I'm Tony Gerdeman here, as always, with Tom Orr. Tom, how's it going?
Well, Tony, we are doing the show that I know people were in our YouTube comments clamoring for yesterday, but we shared a bunch of the information from this show and actually a lot more than we're going to be sharing on this show already with our members at BuckeyeInsiders.com. So if you think, I wish I could get scrimmage updates from them or practice updates from them faster or in more detailed formats, well, friends, I have great news for you. You can do that at BuckeyeInsiders.com.
And we welcome you there. Got a vibrant, thriving community talking Ohio State football all hours of the day. If you're a night owl, you can do it there. If you're a morning person, you can do it there. If you're just an afternoon lazy Joe, you can do it right there as well. So we invite you over there. Would love to see you. And yeah, it's in terms of, I guess, scrimmage updates, Tom, I don't want to like oversell, undersell, whatever. I don't want to sell it improperly. There are not a ton of news coming out in terms of like big plays or this guy's, like all of the stuff that people like want to hear. Like, just tell me Legend Bay went for 300 yards. And it's like, well, there's not necessarily that. And I think one of the reasons is there's some banged up Buckeyes right now. And so they weren't at full health at this point. Now, I don't at this point, there's no reason to believe anybody is in danger. These are just the mid camp, although camp is now like over, but like mid practice session, mid August type of, you know what, we need this person to be healthy in the lead up to the game. We don't need them to be on the field right now. So I think much of this is precautionary, just based on, how things go. Like this is what they do.
Right. You've gone from not playing a lot of contact football since basically the spring game. You're doing some stuff, but you're not in pads very much. And then you get a couple acclimation days and then boom, you're in pads, and you're in pads about 5 or 6 days a week for several weeks in a row. And it's just kind of, they're trying to get you ready. This is not a year where they've got a lot of ramp up. You've got Texas week 2. So it's got to be a physical camp, but that means sometimes guys get hurt, but I think more so guys get just banged up and just, sore. And sometimes you just need to take a day, and you got guys, I think some guys who are taking a day, and, we've seen, for example, with like Austin Siereveld had a few days off, just sort of just making sure something was right about a week ago. He's back now. So that's, no concern there. And I think, just to echo your point, I don't think there's any injuries that we've heard about that are, oh boy, this is going to be a huge long-term issue. It's just kind of, this is what the middle of August looks like every year.
Yeah. And the reason we say that is because when you hear somebody's not practicing, it's like, oh no, oh no, oh no. And it's like, just calm down. The number of players who haven't practiced that you've never heard about and never knew about is miles long. So really no reason to get concerned. We will talk with Ryan Day on Monday, which I guess at this point would be tomorrow. He doesn't normally like talking about injuries, and unless there's maybe something ending that he would go into, but I don't expect him to say anything of note because there may not be anything of note. One thing I'm interested, Tom, to see if he does mention is something that we were told, and that looks like Ian Moore is your starting left tackle. Looks like he has won the job based on, we've only seen him really being the number one left tackle for most of camp, and he's repped and split time with Austin Siereveld at times, and just making sure that they're making the right decision. Did see Ian Moore at right tackle like once or twice in those first 3 practices. But at this point, it looks like Ian Moore, the way they're talking, is the number one. He is your starting left tackle, which I am going to say Austin Siereveld is your starting right guard, and just eliminate all of the Philip Daniels conjecture, because I know the Buckeye fans will talk about, and Buckeye media will talk about the Philip Daniels thing. The people who aren't talking about anything to do with Philip Daniels or Philip Daniels moving here, moving there are the coaches. Like, that's not something really. Ryan Day mentions it once a camp, like before camp, and then never again, and nothing ever comes of it. So it seems to me that it's going to be Ian Moore and then Austin Siereveld, and I'm wondering if we'll hear that tomorrow.
My assumption is that that will be announced officially on Monday during that Ryan Day press conference. We are planning to stream that. The official time is 11:45. There is always a brackets-ish at the end of any kind of press conference following practice kind of time, but you can look for that at youtube.com/@BuckeyeInsiders. You can also find us on Twitch. If you are a Twitch person, we are at Buckeye Insiders there as well. We'll be streaming that there. I've done a terrible job promoting that, but we will be streaming some of our stuff there. If you prefer Twitch to YouTube, there you go. You can find us there. So yeah, I think at this point, we came out of spring thinking this is probably where this was going to end up, with Ian Moore at left tackle and Austin Siereveld at right guard. That was certainly the most likely, not the majority, but the plurality solution here was that it was going to be that lineup. And you kind of went through all of fall camp, and that seemed like the thing. It was the thing they showed on day one. It was the thing they showed on day 3. They had something else on day 2, but it felt like that was a thing that you saw earliest, most often. Even just the little clips from practice that they will put out, it's always, oh, look, there's Ian Moore at left tackle with the ones. Oh, look, there's Austin Siereveld. I don't know where he is. He's somewhere in the interior of the line again with the ones, so it could be literally anywhere. I don't know. It just feels like everything we're seeing, everything we're hearing behind the scenes is that this is where things are trending. And then, we were told Saturday after the scrimmage that is almost certainly where this is going to end up. So, I'm expecting an official answer on that on Monday.
Yeah, and when we say this is what we're told, things can change. I would throw that out there because that does happen, but at this point, that's what it looks like. I will also say, from this scrimmage to from the first scrimmage 8 days ago to this scrimmage on Saturday, slow start to this past scrimmage, offensively and defensively, I guess. But then the defense kind of picked it up and finished better than the defense did the previous week. And the first scrimmage was a rough outing for the Ohio State defense. I think it's good that things are looking a little bit more muddled for the entire scrimmage, and no one side looks better than the other. That's, I think, maybe the ideal for the coaches, where you're just going to get to the granular and do all of the grading on all of the players and see how things graded out. If there's no clear winner, then maybe the team wins clearly, that sort of thing. But defense stepping up after being not embarrassed, but like Payton Pierce had to pull his team aside and like in the days after that first scrimmage and be like, this is not the standard of the Ohio State defense. And thing is, like, he's the only other linebacker that has like more than one season of playing time on this team other than him is like Garrett Stover, who had 1 snap and a couple of special teams plays. Outside of that, and you can do some similar things all throughout the defense, like there's not a ton of Ohio State experience. And so, yeah, reclaiming that standard is going to be big for them. Like it's good that the offense is good, but I think this is also good news that the defense may be catching up a little finally.
Yeah. And this is the dance that every school is doing this time of year. I talked to someone who I know who knows some folks close to the Texas program and was just sort of getting a little bit of intel on where things stand there, and shared a bunch of that on the Insiders board on Sunday. But they're kind of in the different spot where the offense is just getting absolutely mollywomped by the defense, which again, that's not unusual this time of year. And Texas is supposed to have a good defense. So it's very easy to say, well, that just means they have a good defense. But at the same time, then are you concerned about the offense? And for Ohio State, the offense had a great first scrimmage. And it's like, well, okay, how concerned should you be about the defense? It feels like you kind of know, much like, Texas is going to have a good defense, because Texas is going to have a good defense this year. Ohio State's going to have a good offense. Like, you just look around the field and look at the pieces they have and the players they have and the coaching they have, and you go, yeah, Ohio State's going to have a good offense this year. So getting absolutely, I don't want to say getting smoked, but having them get the better of you in scrimmage 1 is not necessarily the end of the world for the defense. But then coming back and having a better second scrimmage, or at least it was a much more even kind of thing, that is good news for the defense. And the offense was missing some guys. They had, some guys who were out, nothing to be worried about, but they were missing some guys. But it does feel like that's, you were probably hoping that to hear, okay, the defense had a better day in scrimmage number 2. And it sounds like the defense had a better day in scrimmage number 2.
One of the other things coming out of the scrimmage, and I think this is one of the byproducts of the whole length of camp and camp now being over and they move into the sort of game prep situation. They've been staying together in the hotel. They've been practicing against each other. They have finally reached the point where the coaches are like, the team is just ready to hit somebody else. Things have gotten chippy. And so you've got all this pent up, like you want to go play somebody else. And there's such a hyper focus on all of the details and all of the standards and all of this. And sometimes things just, they snap a little or it is what it is. It's a highly competitive, violent type of situation. And so, yeah, I think they've officially reached that point where they need to maybe get away from each other a little bit, like, go back to your apartments, your condos, and, that sort of thing. But, based on everything we're hearing, like this is I don't want to say time for a break. No, but this is not atypical for the end of camp where it's just, you're done with each other for a little bit.
Yeah. I think if you went back through quotes from about this point in fall camp, you'd have almost verbatim, we're ready to hit someone a different color jersey. In virtually every single year going back. I mean, I've been around the team for 26 years on and off. And I can remember even when I was a student at Ohio State, them talking about, yeah, we're ready to hit someone in a different color jersey. Like it's just, that's what it is this time of year. So that's not unusual. But I think this camp, go back to some of our shows week 1 when we were in there and we were talking about the fact that, boy, it was a little more physical than you would expect. And I think that's probably a combination of coming off of last season, ending in a disappointing way, a lot of guys who are new and trying to earn spots, and there's not a lot of complacency. And so, it's been, I think, a physical camp on the whole. And, it's been hot for the last couple of weeks, and then it's been raining and they've been inside, and then they've been raining and they've been outside. And it just like, this is the point of camp where you are a little bit tired of being around other people. And we were at hotel check-in day, 2 weeks ago on Monday, I think, or Tuesday, whenever it was. They are now checking out of the hotel. The camp portion, hotel portion, that's done. Classes start on Wednesday. So then practices move till the evening instead of the sort of late morning practices. So then it gets like, you can sort of see the light at the end of the tunnel that, okay, practice is not going to go on, camp is not going to go on forever. There really is a game where you will get to hit someone wearing a different color jersey, even though I guess Ball State kind of wears the same color jerseys, but you know what I mean? Different helmets. That's the important thing. You get to hit someone wearing different helmets. Just don't hit them in the helmet or you might get ejected.
Just different people. Because I believe it would just be tiresome for like a James Smith or an Edric Houston to be hitting Luke Montgomery or Austin Siereveld all day long. It's like, I'm tired of this. I'm looking for something new. I want something new. And soon they will have something new, but even changing the time of day that you're doing a practice it maybe helps some as well. So I think it's just some things that we wanted to talk about. Like I said, we've got more over at BuckeyeInsiders.com on a message board. Got a couple of threads there actually about stuff going on Saturday and beyond. And as Tom said, we will be talking with Ryan Day on Monday. You can watch that live on YouTube at youtube.com/@BuckeyeInsiders. If you're watching this right now, hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to be notified. So we'll notify you when we go live on Monday. You don't even have to set your alarm. We'll do it for you. That's the kind of people we are. And 5-star rating and review, always appreciated on the audio side. But yes, 100%. Come find us over at BuckeyeInsiders.com. You would have had this information yesterday, and you'd have more information. So there you go. We invite you over there. Thank you all for tuning in, and we will talk to you all later.